My dear students, today I want to share with you something very close to my heart, something that is not only important for those who are teachers now, but also for all of you who may one day become teachers, parents, mentors, or guides for others. And the topic is how to be an effective teacher. You see, teaching is not just about opening a book, reading some lines, and writing notes on the board. If that was all there was to teaching, then anyone with a textbook could be called a teacher. But we all know that real teaching goes far beyond the pages of a book. Teaching is about shaping minds, building confidence, and inspiring curiosity. A good teacher is not simply a transmitter of information, but a performer, a motivator, and most importantly, a friend and mentor who opens the doors of imagination for their students. When you step into a classroom, remember that the students in front of you are not just empty vessels waiting to be filled with facts. They are living, breathing individuals with emotions, dreams, and questions. An effective teacher acknowledges this reality and teaches in a way that respects the humanity of the learner. If you only come to class, recite what is written in the book and leave. The students might pass exams, but they will not remember you as someone who changed their lives. But if you walk into the room with energy, passion, and a sense of connection, your students will carry the memory of your influence far beyond the classroom. So what does it mean to be effective? First of all, it means you must have knowledge, deep and accurate knowledge of your subject. If a student asks you a question and you cannot answer, if you stumble on basic concepts, students will quickly lose confidence in you. But knowledge alone is not enough, because knowledge without communication is like a library that is locked. An effective teacher knows how to communicate, how to break down difficult ideas into simple words, how to use examples from daily life so that the student can say, "Yes, now I understand." For example, if you are teaching mathematics and you only write formulas on the board, students may feel lost. But if you show them how those formulas apply to something real, like calculating interest on money or planning the structure of a bridge, they will suddenly see the relevance of what they are learning. Communication is the art of connecting the subject to the student's world. Another quality of an effective teacher is voice and expression. Imagine sitting in a class where the teacher speaks in a flat monotone, without any change in pitch or energy. Within minutes, your eyes would grow heavy and your mind would wander. That is why I say teaching is like a performance. Your voice must rise and fall. You must stress important words. You must use pauses for effect. Your face should not be lifeless. It should mirror the excitement of the ideas you are sharing. Your body language should show confidence, openness, and enthusiasm. When you ask a question, look into the eyes of the students. Let them feel that you are speaking directly to them. This eye contact is powerful. It builds trust, it keeps attention, and it creates a human bond. Classroom management is also a pillar of effective teaching. A class without discipline becomes chaos, and no learning can happen in chaos. But discipline does not mean creating fear. It does not mean shouting at students or humiliating them. Effective classroom management is about creating clear expectations, building mutual respect, and keeping students engaged so that they do not have the time or desire to be disruptive. When students see that you are fair, that you listen to them, and that you respect them, they will naturally respond with respect toward you. At the same time, you must be firm and consistent. A teacher who allows anything and everything in the classroom loses authority. So the balance is important. Be approachable, but also set boundaries. Now let us talk about motivation. My students, remember this always. Motivation is the fuel of learning. A motivated student can achieve wonders, while an unmotivated student will struggle even with the simplest tasks. How do you motivate students? By showing enthusiasm yourself. If you walk into the class looking bored, tired, or uninterested, why should the students feel excited about the lesson? Your energy is contagious. When you smile, when you show genuine passion for your subject, when you bring in real-life applications and stories, the students will catch your fire. Motivation also comes from setting achievable goals, giving positive feedback, and celebrating progress. Do not only praise results, praise effort, creativity, and persistence. Show your students that mistakes are not failures, but steps toward success. Creativity is another hallmark of effective teaching. If you only rely on rote memorization, Your students may pass exams, but they will not develop critical thinking or problem-solving skills. Use different methods: storytelling, role-play, debates, projects, and experiments. Bring multimedia into the classroom: videos, online quizzes, interactive simulations. Use games to teach concepts, because learning through play is powerful. Give assignments that allow students to explore and create, rather than just repeat what you said. A creative teacher does not fear trying new things, and students love novelty. Every lesson should feel alive, not mechanical. One of the most beautiful aspects of teaching is the relationship between teacher and student. An effective teacher builds strong relationships. Students should feel that you care for them, that you are interested in their success, and that you respect them as individuals. Learn their names, listen to their questions, and take time to understand their struggles. Sometimes a kind word from a teacher can change the entire attitude of a student towards school. Avoid favoritism. Treat every student fairly. Remember, for some children, the classroom may be the only place where they feel truly seen and valued. Do not underestimate the impact of your words and actions. Emotional intelligence plays a vital role here. As a teacher, you will face moments of stress, conflict, and disappointment. Students may argue, they may fail, they may test your patience. An emotionally intelligent teacher does not lose control. Instead, they respond with calmness and empathy. They know how to manage their own emotions and how to read the emotions of their students. When a student is struggling, you show compassion. When there is conflict, you mediate with fairness. By modeling emotional intelligence, you also teach your students life skills that are beyond textbooks, skills of empathy, self-control, and resilience. Now, let us not forget the role of technology. We live in an age where knowledge is expanding every second, and digital tools have revolutionized learning. An effective teacher embraces technology wisely. Use smartboards, projectors, online platforms, and educational apps to enrich your lessons. Encourage students to use the internet for research, but also guide them to use it critically and responsibly. Online quizzes, interactive exercises, and virtual simulations can make abstract concepts concrete. But remember, technology should support teaching, not replace the human touch. Students still need your presence, your encouragement, and your guidance. Assessment and feedback are also central to effective teaching. Exams and tests are not the only ways to measure learning. Use projects, presentations, group discussions, peer reviews, and self-reflection exercises. These give a fuller picture of a student's progress. When you give feedback, be constructive. Instead of just marking errors, explain how to improve. Be timely and specific. A single encouraging comment can push a student to keep trying, while careless criticism can crush their confidence. Use assessment as a tool for growth, not as a weapon of judgment. Another important quality of an effective teacher is the habit of lifelong learning. Just as you expect your students to grow, you too must keep evolving. Attend workshops, read educational research, join professional networks, and explore new methods. Reflect on your own teaching after every class. What worked, what didn't, what could be improved. Do not be afraid to seek feedback from students or colleagues. When you continue to learn, you set an example for your students that education never ends, that growth is lifelong. In today's diverse world, cultural awareness and inclusivity are essential. Your classroom may have students from different backgrounds, languages, and abilities. An effective teacher welcomes this diversity as a strength, not a challenge. Use examples that reflect different cultures, avoid stereotypes, and create an environment where every student feels represented and respected. Adapt your teaching for students with special needs. Use differentiated instruction, assistive technologies, and personalized support. Show your students that education is for everyone, not just for a select few. And above all, my dear students, the most powerful quality of an effective teacher is passion. Passion cannot be faked. When you love your subject, when you love your students, when you love the very act of teaching, it shines through everything you do. Passion gives you energy on days when you are tired. Passion makes you go the extra mile for a struggling student. Passion is what inspires your students to not just learn for exams, but to develop a lifelong love of learning. So remember this formula. Effective teaching is knowledge plus communication plus creativity plus relationship plus passion. A teacher is not just a professional. A teacher is a builder of nations, a guide for generations, a mentor who shapes the future. When you stand before your students, imagine that you are not only teaching them facts, but that you are planting seeds of curiosity, confidence, and character that will grow long after they leave your classroom. Teaching is not a job. It is a mission, a performance, a lifelong responsibility, and one of the greatest honors any human being can have. My dear students, if you wish to be effective teachers, embrace this mission with your whole heart. Be clear in your knowledge, be strong in your communication, be warm in your relationships, be innovative in your methods, and above all, be passionate in your dedication. This is how you will not only teach students, but touch lives, not only fill minds, but inspire souls. Not only prepare them for exams, but prepare them for life. And when years pass and your students become doctors, engineers, leaders, artists, and parents themselves, they will remember you not just as a teacher, but as the one who made a difference. That, my friends, is the true meaning of being an effective teacher.